The following thoughts and opinions we're going to discuss regarding this album are strictly of our own personal interests. We are not professional music reviewers. We encourage respectful discussion and friendly banter in each episode, but we do not condone and will not tolerate bullying or belligerence. You are welcome to take what we say regarding the albums we rate with a grain of salt.
Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rate the Record podcast, episode 46.
Woo!
Yeah, no clever intros or anything anymore. That's not how we do it here on the show. Wait. Oh, I wonder why we have that kind of props laying around.
No, that's just my party house. I live in a circus tent.
Fair enough, but I like how, for the most part, that sound did not come out through the mic. I heard the first part and then it just chopped off.
It was either far too exciting or it just, yeah, yay.
Maybe people will find out how exciting it is tomorrow, but that's then, this is now, and your hosts who are living in the now are Kris and
Savannah, and it is bold of you to assume so.
Well, I mean, I was just making a Wayne's World reference. Live in the now.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that movie in like 2 decades.
I figured you would at least be somewhat familiar with it.
Oh, I know I've seen it for sure. But not being a movie person, definitely watched it once and went, I can say I've seen it. And then that was really it.
Fair enough. I haven't seen it in a while either. But yes, that's Wayne's World, and this is the Rate the Record podcast. Thank you very much for joining us today. If you like what you end up seeing today, if you like the music we listen to, if you like us for whatever reason, that one's probably not very likely. No. But regardless, if you do, like, subscribe, comment, rate, share, follow, all of those things help build the musical community that we are trying so hard to build here on YouTube, out in Audio Land, Spotify, Apple, all that kind of stuff. Brick by brick by brick musical community. We want you to be a part of it.
What he said.
And I mean, I repeat myself all the time, so if you didn't know by now, hammer that in.
Mm-hmm.
But
you don't put bricks up with hammers, silly guy.
Yeah, you gotta like layout things, splat, layout, splat. Like, I don't know. I'm not a handyman. Can you tell I speak into a microphone?
Fair.
But out there in the audio world, as mentioned, Spotify, Apple, wherever you may be listening to your podcast, make sure that you give us a good rating, a good review, and also follow us over there as well, because we want to get noticed in those charts by good people like you. So that will definitely help. So please go ahead and do that. Build us up, that musical community in the audio world, but also here on YouTube. I can say here on YouTube because it's like the video version we're making as well. But on YouTube as well, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure that you are following us here, so that way you can always stay caught up. Musical community, brick, something, as I've been saying forever. But the important thing on YouTube is that if you do subscribe to us here, we're trying to hit 100. And once we do, you might already know by now, but we're trying to hit 100 so we can give away some free vinyl records.
Hell yeah. Everyone likes the word free.
Like if you're like, no, I want to work for something. Well, you can do that too, I guess, but free records.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's admirable, but
yeah, puffed is exactly right.
Yeah.
Puffed. But yeah, anyways, 100 subscribers. Once we hit that on YouTube, 1 record a month for every month that we're over 100. So if you want yourself a free record, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button. You got to stay subscribed, and you could get free music out of it. Who doesn't want that? It's just kind of silly. Don't even say no.
Yeah, and it is a record that we have reviewed. So you might get Weezer's Ratitude, but you also
Good
might
news,
get
you
Eagles.
won't, because it's not on vinyl.
Oh, really?
I checked.
Oh, y'all are lucky. I was going to say, or it's Eagles Hotel California.
Yes, that one is in the mix. And the thing is, we're going to randomize it so it doesn't go in any sort of order, but you will know at the beginning of each month. Regardless, those are the rules we go over when we get there. We are still climbing, so please hit that subscribe button. Do not forget. And of course, you can always follow us over on our social medias at Rate the Record Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, TikTok. Yeah, it's all there somewhere. We're too old for this. Anyways, it's all at ratetherecord.ca. You can find every link there, all of our streaming links, boom. So make sure that you are following all of that as well. Just putting all of our eggs in one basket before we finally get the episode kicked off.
Really fucking large basket.
Yeah, like a 4-minute basket. But anyways, I guess we should just go ahead and jump into the episode now. It just makes more sense. So today, for episode 46, Savannah went ahead and picked us out an album because last week I chose The Kills for episode 45, first episode back for season 3. But yes, it's all about Oasis and their album Morning Glory, or it's also known as What's the Story? Morning Glory. So regardless, it's correct, but just for the sake of keeping things simple, we're just going to call it Morning Glory.
Yes.
Because it's outside the parentheses as well.
Yes. And for some reason, there's a space, question mark, space. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have computers back then.
Or maybe they were pretty high when they did it.
I don't doubt that one single bit. Oasis was formed in Manchester, England in 1991 and originally formed as a 4-piece, but the addition of guitarist Noel Gallagher rounded out the group and they were signed to indie label Creation Records in 1993. A year later, they released their debut album, Definitely Maybe. Only 14 months after Definitely Maybe was released, Oasis released What's the Story? Morning Glory. Now, just as an aside, what the hell? They were together for 2 years and then released 2 albums within like a year and a bit of each other.
I guess they just kind of found their groove. So, I mean, why not take advantage of it while you have it?
You are not kidding. I had no idea. And then when I read that, I was like, mind blown. So, like you said, I will be referring to the album as Morning Glory going forward. Morning Glory was recorded in Rockfield, Wales, and released on October 2nd, 1995 on Creation Records. Produced by Owen Morris and Noel Gallagher, the album has released massive singles such as Don't Look Back in Anger, Champagne Supernova, Morning Glory, and Wonderwall, alongside Some Might Say and Roll With It. It is claimed that the album was recorded in only 15 days. Again, mind-blowing.
I would say, considering that The Kills recorded No Wow in 14 days.
Yeah, like this is
But then again, Oasis must have had a huge budget going into it, so that's fine.
Oh, yeah, and probably drugs. There is much I could say about this album in the beginning of 90s Britpop and the effect this album has had since its release, but we'd be here all day, so here are some accolades. Morning Glory is considered one of the best albums of the 90s and appears on many, many charts as one of the greatest albums of all time. It was the best-selling album of the decade in the UK. It hit number 4 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 in Canada and the UK. It's 16 times platinum in the UK and 4 times platinum in the United States. It said it was 8 times platinum in Canada, but with the numbers, I'm pretty sure that Canada and the US count their milestones differently.
Oh, they do. They definitely do.
Pitchfork gave it a 8.9 out of 10. Spin gave it 4.5 out of 5. And AllMusic gave it 5 out of 5.
You know, I noticed that being a theme, that whenever we talk in the bios, that AllMusic tends to be the one publisher that gives every album a perfect or excellent rating no matter what it is. They're the ones who just bend over backwards for these albums no matter what.
Yeah,
guys, you're allowed to give a negative rating. You're allowed to. It's okay.
Yeah, well, they do that and then they just shut down the website and they're like, we've been these record labels have been funding this website. So if they say one negative thing, they shut them down. Done.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because they're so soft-skinned or thin-skinned is the term I'm looking for.
Dang.
Grow a pair or something. I don't know. Anyways, that's bullying an album review station. Don't bully Rate the Record, though.
Oh, hell no.
So if you do decide to bully us, I guess we'll get into the album first. So let's start talking about this album, Morning Glory. We'll start with the very first song called Hello. And I want to point out right away, because I had to relook this up because I looked it up earlier, and I have a problem with this song. And it's because one of the writers happens to be Gary Glitter.
Yes, I saw that.
That's a big uh-oh. I mean, granted, probably at the time, no one knew. I think this was, 94, 95, right?
Yes, I actually did see that, clicked his name, went to his Wikipedia, and the whole thing happened in 97. So
I would have done all I could legally to strike that name after all the allegations happened.
Oh, yeah. Just Yeah, that's it.
So I mean, like, not that I tanked the score or anything because of that, but just I saw that and I was like, really? What
Yeah.
a name
Oh,
to be
yeah.
connected to in one way. But again, they don't have the foresight, so whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, the song "Hello." But speaking of tanking a song for one reason or another, negative 10 points for starting the song with a quiet Wonderwall opening.
I wrote the song starting with the chords to Wonderwall is like saying, well, anyways, screw Wonderwall, and then play something else.
That or they just really want to emphasize that one song because it's the only like Oasis song anyone tends to remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Realistically, though, I mean, obviously I'm not going to tank that either, although it's just like, why? Why did you have to do that? But anyways, it is a bouncy little start to the album, so that's fun enough, I guess. I mean, that's kind of cool. Not a very interesting start to the album, but again, bouncy overall, so I can see why people would find it fun. I wrote this next point as part of this track, but then it ended up being a lot of the album, is that everything feels like a little too spread out, like production wise with the sound. It's just a very wide but flat soundscape. Like there's not a lot of textures to the sounds at all. There's not like a really good use of layers. I mean, there are other songs on this album that change that up a bit, and like I will obviously mention that when we get there. But where we are now, like immediately I noticed it was just this big flat wall of sound, not even like that weird Phil Spector one that musicians tend to use and everything like that. So I don't know, bothered me a little bit, but not enough to, again, just completely drown the song. It's simple enough. It's a little repetitive, and it's just a big ball of like alt rock noise for just over 3 minutes.
I definitely agree with the sound. I did make note that the guitars are pretty loud. I did like how squealy they are in the back, but just when it started playing, I was like, I had to literally turn it down a little bit. I did like this one as an album opener. I do kind of like bouncier, sort of, I guess, more energetic songs because it kind of gets you excited to hear the rest, whether the rest is good or not. It just sort of pushes you into it. I did like the guitars that ended the song. And this, along with a lot of Oasis songs, it had a good proportion of lyrics that I understood and a lot that I did not. And not just the phrasing, just the literal vocals. I have no idea what he's saying sometimes.
Well, it's because he like kind of slurs his words, and also with Liam Gallagher, he's got a super nasally voice. Like, so I mean, you kind of got to discern things through the sharp trumpet-like sounds of his nose and voice.
Yeah, I need closed captioning here.
Like, even then, it just says like aggressive trumpet noises. It's like that. Did he write? Like, what is this?
Yep. Oh my God.
At this point, I'm just picking on Liam Gallagher, and the funny part is, this might not be the last time.
Oh God. Yep. I do want to make note at the first track, because this is just an overarching theme. The amount of songs on this album, or I don't know if it's Oasis in general, because to be fairly honest, this is the first and only entire album I've heard of them or heard of theirs so far. But the end of songs are just a repeat of the hook or of the song title over and over. And I've made note of every song that does that. So apologies for the redundance. I will be making note of that every single song. But
if you have to be redundant to point out redundancy, then I guess it makes sense in a way.
Yes, negative and a negative makes a positive, right?
In this case, it has to.
Yeah,
you take those two negatives, you just flip one, boom, positive. Look at that.
Exactly.
Simple, easy.
We're a math show now.
2 + 3 is next song.
Yes.
We'll tell you the answers later, because we don't need to tell you right now. So song number 2, Roll With It.
I always find it audibly interesting when a song is primarily electric and then an acoustic guitar comes in. It's not there from the beginning, but it kind of cuts in, I don't know, like a couple bars in or whatever. I really like that. It kind of adds sort of an interest to me. The uppity sound is very appealing to me. If you've listened to any of my reviews, definitely a theme. For this song, the vocals didn't really feel like it was mixed with the rest of the music. It was like on top, and it feels like I'm listening to someone singing live to a backing tape.
That makes sense. Yeah, just because of like the way things kind of sit in the production and everything like that. I guess I can follow that.
Yeah, it was weird. It was, I don't know. I think it's one of only a couple songs that are like that, but it definitely felt like he was in my ear. So.
Yeah. As compared to the other track, and I mean, like this kind of goes back and forth through the entire album. Like I already like the guitar work better in this song than I do the previous one. Because there was like a kind of a bit more going on, different textures of the sound actually like, made it easier to get into this time around. So I appreciated that much about it. Doesn't happen all the time on this album, but it does a few times. And again, I'll point them out when they happen. There's really catchy vocals, but I mean like, again, that's kind of like a whole album thing. Like these guys just know how to write hooks and like, easily singable lyrics. Because this is essentially like arena rock. So like it has to be catchy in some way, shape or form, especially to sing along to.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, this is another kind of arcing thing, but I do like Noel's backing vocals in this track, but they usually sound pretty good anyway, as I said. So like overarching comment that yes, I like Noel Gallagher's background vocals. Realistically, his voice is better than Liam's Sorry Not Sorry. But I mean, that's just the way it is. And also, he's the songwriter too. So essentially, he's the better brother. They're both dicks, but I mean, like musically, he's the better brother.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's the more, I guess, I don't want to say level-headed because I feel like that's too personal and I don't know. But I feel like out of the two, he's the more like, we have to get this shit done. We'll deal with this later. One.
Yeah, to just play, whereas like Liam somewhere picking a fucking fight, probably with Noel.
Yeah. Well,
let's not fool ourselves.
On a sort of side note, I was watching a unrelated YouTube video where they were showing some sort of, Wembley Stadium incident or something. And you're just watching Liam just completely sabotage the show at Wembley Stadium and not singing the right lyrics and walking up to Noel and trying, like getting in his personal space and trying to like piss him off. And I'm just like, oh my God, I would have just punched him in the face right in front of thousands of people, just decked him one. Holy smokes. Like,
and I don't think anyone would have been shocked.
Yeah, with an attitude like that, like I am not surprised.
And they've been broken up for how long now? It's been like well over a decade by this point, hasn't it?
Oh, I think it was 2009.
That sounds about right.
13 years. Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of it's another video clip you can watch online, but like old Chili Peppers around like the Blood Sugar Sex Magic era, just before John left. Him and Anthony were not getting along, and they were definitely like on live television, kind of bullying each other a little bit to the point where like Anthony would skip around stage and then walk over and like kick John in the leg while skipping by, and just like the absolute pissed off look on John's face. And then during the song, John would just like go into these really obnoxious solos for no reason and just fuck with everything. And I think at one point Anthony tried to unplug John's guitar.
Yeah. Oh shit. I'm going to have to check that out. It's like, it's so cringeworthy, but you're like, I can't look away. I have to see how this pans out.
Not only that, but also like we know John eventually came back to the band anyways, twice. Yeah. He left twice and came back twice.
Oh my Lord.
But yeah, anyways, kind of more on to this one. This one feels like a slightly noisier Beatles track. And yes, I'm very, very much aware of how much Oasis is obsessed, or at least Liam Gallagher's obsessed with the Beatles. Like I know, I get it. So I bring up the Beatles more than once in this entire review because there's just a lot that reminds me of them. But overall, it's a feel-good track. It's nothing too big, but it's still enjoyable enough. So yeah, I mean, we're off to a decent start, I suppose.
I did like the solo in the middle. Some on this album are better than others. I do like how all the guitars sort of marry to this really nice sound. And the more I listened to the song, the more I liked it, aside from the incessant repetition of the hook at the end. Number 2.
That happens a lot, doesn't it?
Oh my God. Yes. I think maybe there's 1 or 2 songs where it doesn't. The rest of them, and some of them, insufferable. But you can bet I will bring that up with anger when it comes up.
I cannot wait.
Oh God. Oh God.
Speaking of being angry about things, song number 3, the campfire classic itself. Every douchebag with a guitar has always learned this song, Wonderwall.
Yeah. You first. I'd love to hear what you have.
Actually, it's good that you're letting me start first because I my first note is ugh. But okay, but I'm gonna get fair for a minute here. So I'm going to approach this like I did with Hotel California. And to those of you who missed it, so essentially we did Eagles for episode 15 and we did that album. And I dubbed what I now call the Hotel California effect. It's just where you've heard a song so much that you're super sick of it, but you don't necessarily hate it, but you are just you get rage filled when you hear it. Like it's been too much.
Yeah.
Hotel California has been that my entire life. Wonderwall, I think, is that for everybody.
Yes, I also made note of that. Quote, I like this song, although it has become a Hotel California to me. So
thank you. It's catching on, isn't it?
100%. Yep.
I will say though, I'm going to be fair, like I did with Hotel California. As sick as I am of ever hearing the song, including this, I'm sick of Wonderwall. But I'm going to be fair and critique it properly. I'm not going to just be biased and be like, just shut up. And I think I did a good job, because with Hotel California, it was the same thing where I said, like, I actually praised the track. It was a really well-written track, still is. It still sounds great technically. I'm just sick of it. Yeah. Wonderwall's the exact same way. The song is insanely catchy. The chord progression is super easy and memorable, so that's why any douchebag with a guitar can pick it up and play. Or any good person. You're not all douchebags.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's easy to see why the song's like as popular as it actually is. And just other things to point out too, like I'm guessing that there's like a cello in the song, but I'm guessing it's a mellotron only because in the liner notes it mentioned mellotron and nothing about strings.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna guess that's the mellotron. Anyways, it's just another layer that kind of keeps the rhythm and melody kind of like so easy and memorable, really hammers it into your head. So just that's why it's so catchy. I actually like the subdued feeling of the drums in this track too. It keeps it from feeling too intense. Nothing feels too overpowered, so it can just kind of ride out really nicely. There's like some really good finger picking in the pre-chorus of the song too, that just as it's building up, and I really, really like it. I thought it's really pretty. I'd never really noticed it before until I was wearing headphones. So hey, look, it gave me something new despite hearing it a billion times.
Awesome.
But yes, overall, it's a fine song. I mean, that's obvious enough. It is a good song, but let's never speak of it again. But I have to say that now, passing the song off to you.
Yes, I do agree. Like, I do feel like this song does get a lot of shit just because of the way people portray it and the people who like it. Like I said, it definitely feels like that Hotel California thing. What you said, mellotron, I'm pretty much just going to mimic everything you said, because I'm
only assuming, because again, I didn't see anything but a cello, a double bass. I didn't see strings, so I'm just like, okay, that's got to be the mellotron.
I did say I like the orchestral strings, but I mean, whatever
I'll
that
know what
is,
you mean. That's the important part. We all know what you mean.
That it adds some body to the song, and without them, I feel like the song would feel much more hollow and sort of just, two people in an empty room kind of thing. So I really like that. I never noticed how much I like the bass in this song. Like I had to listen to it a couple times, much to my dismay, but focused on the bass a couple times. I'm like, I actually really enjoy how sort of, I don't know, how deep it is. It's like compared to the lightness of the song, it's really there. And I like that a lot. I even like the backing vocals, even though they just repeat the same line being sung for the lead, but whatever, I still like that. Piano at the end is a nice touch. And the repetition at the end of this song was a little less, so I'll give it a pass, and I might actually like this song again.
I think that like the repetition at the end, it does better without vocals, especially having to hear Liam loop something 105 times. Like that gets a little grating, but instrumentally, depending on what's happening, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But then again, I say that knowing that I like some Our Lady Peace songs that have endless loops of Rain Maida screaming, but I still like that. So like, I don't know. I'm very hypocritical. Let's just say that much.
Likewise, there are a lot of things I say, and it's like, well, what about this? I'm like, no, that was then. This is now. It's different. It's this band, not that one. It's different. It
just talking about it being hypocrites. It just reminds me of something that we recorded yesterday that'll be coming out tomorrow, actually. So on Tuesday, August 23rd. So just keep an eye out for that, because still has me thinking after we were done recording that, like just had me all puzzled.
Yeah.
I can't say much more without giving anything away.
Well, I mean, knowing that it was me to spark that in you. Welcome to everyone else that knows me in my real life. So,
well, then again, you've made me question things over the last 45 episodes up to this point. So, I mean, what's one more question, huh?
Why did I ever talk to her? Why am I still doing this? What is wrong with her?
I say as I slowly delete one band at a time off our schedule.
That's fine. I'll never notice.
Alrighty then. So we go on to song number 4, another one of the singles. One I wasn't aware of for a long time that was an Oasis single, but obviously is. I didn't know until like sometime in the 2000s. But Don't Look Back in Anger. I guess because I wasn't used to Noel Gallagher singing, so I was like, this isn't Oasis. It sounds like them, but it's not Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it is. So you start this time.
The intro, very Hey Jude. That's definitely what I got from it at the very beginning. Like you had mentioned.
Sorry, can I just jump in real quick on that?
Yeah.
My first comment, I made a comment in the previous videos about playing on your influences. Like I've mentioned that in like previous videos. Yeah. Man, this Beatles love is intense. Guess I never really paid attention until now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I kind of resisted saying anything only because like it's pretty well known and I didn't just want to take a cheap
but it's so heavy though.
It is.
Like, oh my God.
That's
another that in itself is kind of a Beatles reference.
With this one, 100%. The chorus melody, like you said, about it being, sort of arena rock, it lends itself nicely to singing along. I could see people sort of arm in arm at their concert, just singing back at them, which cool.
Their 5th cup of super expensive beer.
Exactly. I mean, why not, right? I didn't know that Noel was singing this song until I was listening to the album in its entirety, and you can really tell the difference.
Oh, it's night and day.
My thought was, this isn't Liam singing. You can tell, and I really like it. I think I prefer Noel's voice over Liam's, but
as mentioned earlier, he's just the better musical brother. Yep,
I agree. I really like the floor toms in the pre-chorus because it really builds up the excitement, and then it's all hit the mic. Then
That'll
it's
be
all
loud.
let out during the chorus. So I really like that.
You're very animated.
Very much so. I'm trying to express all of the pent up emotion in my chest just exploding out with the chorus to this song.
I was gonna say, does Oasis really make you feel that emotional?
No, I just like this song a lot.
I do also note that yes, Noel definitely sounds better at singing than Liam. Sorry, not sorry. I think I already said that earlier anyway, so it's all good.
100%.
Just really emphasizing that point, because this is the only song on the album that he sings.
Yes,
I believe so. Yeah, I don't recall another one.
Yeah,
he doesn't sing too often. He has his own solo project, but still.
I have to check that out because when I heard this and realized that it was him singing, I was like, shit, I should probably actually listen to his solo stuff because I might like it.
I've heard Liam's solo stuff. It's just weaker Oasis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not that great. No. But yeah, as you mentioned, we talked about arena rock. You brought it up, and I did. Our notes are pretty parallel in this song. The chorus is easily a stadium-filling sing-along. Damn, they sure are good at writing hooks.
Yeah, 100%.
Look, like, I've made the joke before on previous episodes about like, oh, this is Hooks the album, and like Oasis is just another band who just happens to be really good at it. Not every song on this album has a fantastic hook, but I mean, like, obviously the singles that sold a lot are going to. So this Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, whoever the hell Wonderwall is, he's the secret 5th or 6th member of Oasis. Because they always like the Beatles always joked about, oh, are you the 5th member of the Beatles? Well, now Oasis has the same joke because they love the Beatles so fucking much.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like it's just becoming a rant at this point rather than just a tangent.
It definitely is, yes.
But it gets kind of annoying, though. It really does.
Yeah, I get that.
And the only other note I had is noting that this song is famously another one of those modern songs that have the progression of that use canon in D major. It's like this like classical wedding kind of song. The use of this in modern music should be outlawed. I'm sick of hearing it in so many different songs, especially pop songs. Like think about like Graduation by Vitamin C. Like it has the exact same chord progression as this. It's canon in D major and just
okay.
It gets annoying after a while.
I think I'd have to hear it to know it because I can't access what it sounds like. Often.
There's a YouTube video that has a compilation like hooks bled into each other that use the chord progression. So like
okay, interesting.
I'll just tear your eyes out by the end of the video.
Excellent. I look forward to that.
All right, moving on. Song 5. We are now on to Hey Now. Right. You mentioned in the last track great use of floor toms. I think in this one is a great use of floor toms in the intro. I really enjoyed like a big bassy feel kind of building up to everything, so I thought that would sound really cool. Too bad it didn't last that long though. Like I had written that note hoping it was going to continue and that I could write more about it. It's like, nope, that's it. I am starting to notice by this track similarities as compared to previous tracks. We're getting on this note again, but I mean it definitely happens, but it's still appealing enough to like, especially having that wide production style to it, like that kind of again there's moments in the album where I'm back and forth on whether or not I like that big flat wide production thing, because again some songs use textures better. I don't think this one was necessarily one of them. There's not really a lot happening in the song that catches my attention though, and I think that was one of the bigger problems of it. As a matter of fact, I found it very easy to zone out. I had to keep rewinding the song because just, again, not a lot to grab onto. If this thing was a floaty in the water, it would sink with me. Like, it's just there to mimic the idea of floating. The song, it doesn't sound bad though, but again, just that it's hard to grab onto much. And I mean, the other thing I'll say, because I only have one more note, is like with the way the song was winding down towards the end, it would have ended perfectly around like the 5-minute mark with like a really nice ring out. But then, because that was after like the repetitive hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. There's another one of those repetitive things for you. So after they do that huge repetitive thing, they could have gone with a really cool ring out, but then they just kept going and going for like an additional minute. And I was like, you need to know when to like really just, call the bluff and throw your cards in or something like that. I don't know what the expression is. I don't play poker. Okay.
Now, would it surprise you that I completely agree?
Yes.
My notes. I was very optimistic with the vocal melody and thought, oh, this is catchy, until the pre-chorus, and it really knocked that thought out. Again, I like the build-up with the drums. That was good. Oh God, when it faded and then came back just to do the same thing it was doing really hurt me in my soul. So I was really feeling that one. I wouldn't change it if I was listening to the album in its entirety, but it is not a song I would listen to as a single or just on its own. Song was far too long, like way too long.
Yeah. It really was. I mean, scrolling up my notes here, just almost like between 5.5 to 6 minutes long. Jesus.
Yeah. It was.
If you're gonna write a song that's like super long, you got to do more at the time than just repeat. Like, it's okay to do it every once in a while because obviously if it's like the main like refrain, hey, that rhyme, that's cool. But anyways, just because it's the refrain of the song doesn't mean you have to keep doing it. Is like I don't know, if it sounds really good, make it a treat. Don't do it all the time. Throw it in every once in a while so people can get really hyped for it. Like there's your songwriting tip of the day.
Yep.
All right, well that's I'm kind of done speaking about that song too.
Yeah, I'm just looking a couple songs forward and I'm getting upset, so let's move on.
Cool. Glad to know it happens again.
So
song number 6, essentially the halfway point of the album, and so this is the Swamp song, and I want to point out real quick, we had a discussion off air of whether or not we were going to score this song. Ultimately we decided to, because we combined both of them together, because Swamp song part 1 was song number 6 and Swamp song number 2 is like song number 11, I think it was. But because they're essentially the same thing, and especially because Swamp 2 has like really nothing going for it, we just combined them into one track.
It's like a toned down version of the first one with some breaking waves over it, and that's really it.
I apologize. I'm running over my headphone cords here. This thing is like 5 feet long, okay? Like, it's so easy to run over. I have to, like, drape it in my lap. But yeah, okay, so the Swamp Song, we decided to do it, and it's very quick, like a combined total of like 1 minute and 24 seconds, so it gives you an idea of how long these are. They're interludes, that's all they are. I mean, realistically, Swamp Song 2 shouldn't be an interlude, but it is, I suppose. So I only have a couple of very short notes. This works as a little mid-album interlude. It's just kind of pulling you over to side B while still maintaining a certain amount of energy, which, you know, Swamp Song 1 is fine enough. There's not really a lot going on, but I can dig what it's doing, I guess, and it's not trying to be too much of its own standout track, so that's fine. Flip over to side B. And I just said not certain what part 2 is supposed to represent, but it's a thing, I guess.
I feel like this could be a decent full-length song if they took this idea and ran with it. But it also might have just turned into a hook-filled pop song. But I really like the harmonica and the wailing guitar. That was cool. Like you said, I see potential, but making this turn the record over now song was all right, I guess. And can we make this the outro to the podcast?
Legally, no, but if we don't give a shit about getting copyright strikes, yes.
I care a little bit. All right, pass.
I was gonna say I do too, because we're trying to grow the podcast, and the last thing we need to grow the podcast is a copyright strike.
But
can we apply the license?
If we can get one of their signatures on the lawsuit, then we can sell their signature and pay for it.
I think we've tried this before with another band. We talked about getting to sign something, and it's like, psych. Okay, well, how much money is your OnlyFans pulling in? Because we might be able to get the license.
Ooh, I had one person pay $3 for me to step into a bowl of Jell-O, but that was about it.
Can you step into like 500 more bowls of Jell-O? Because 500 times 3, I mean, that's $1,500.
That's true, but
now we'll get the license for sure.
That's also $1,500 for me, so I'm gonna pass. Let's forget I even brought it up.
Okay, fine, whatever. So unfortunately, no, we're not going to use that as the outro, and I guess that's all we have to really say about Swamp. I was going to say Swamp Thing, but that's definitely a monster. Swamp Song.
That is all.
What a weird name for an English band, but okay, like a weird song name for an English band, Swamp Song. Where's all your swamps in London?
It was quote untitled, but this is like its unofficial
what it's known
name,
as, AKA.
Also on the streaming service it said Swamp Song.
Yeah, it didn't even say untitled in Spotify. It just said the Swamp Song.
Weird.
All right, so we'll move on. Side B, what I'm assuming that the record is now. So song number 7, Some Might Say.
I'm just gonna go through everything all at once, just kind of keep the energy.
Let's go.
So with the guitar and tambourine intro, I can definitely see them, like I imagine them in the studio doing this, because it's just, I don't know, it kind of feels like tinkering, or like they're writing the song as they're recording it, which I think is kind of cool. Sounded all right. I could definitely see the song being played in a movie. I don't know if maybe offhand I have seen something like that, or if it's just the way it sounds, but that's cool as well, I guess. I got to find another word other than cool. Awesome.
Hip.
Hip and cool.
Groovy.
I like all of the crash hits in the chorus. I really like that. Normally it's annoying. It was decent. The vocal stylings at the end of each chorus line are pleasing to my ears. He kind of changes it up slightly in between, which is nice. I like the tambourine during the chorus. I never understood I never noticed how tambourine heavy these songs were. Like I never paid attention to it. And then when I do, I'm like, oh my God, they must have given him something to put in his hands so he didn't like touch anything. He's like, just hold this.
But I think the ultimate kicker to that is if you ever see like Oasis live, like even in a video online, he's got his hands behind his back in front of the microphone. So like he's not touching anything anyway.
Or sometimes he's holding a tambourine behind him.
Yeah, he's just kind of wiggling and there's like a tiny little microphone like right next to his ass so it can kind of get the shaky motion.
But yeah, like I never noticed that. That was cool. Okay, down to my gripe. Okay, it is
how about we pass back and forth? I'll get in my notes and then you get into your gripe. I know you want it, and that's the best part, though.
Okay, I'll take a couple deep breaths.
Yes,
first,
yes,
please.
yes. Got to play a little bit of a tag team here. That's how it works.
I can't. I'm the superstar.
Well, then I'll give you the hot tag, and that's what wins the match. It's fine. All right, so I just said that it sounds very familiar, kind of like I said with the previous track before.
Yeah.
But overall, it sounds familiar. That's the whole thing. Like, it feels like I've heard the song before, and yes, I know it's a single, but I don't ever recall hearing it or seeing it anywhere.
I've said that with another song coming up. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, maybe I have, and it's just subliminally there in my, not subliminally, subconsciously there in my head. That's the term I'm looking for. But yeah, so like no familiarity, but yet I feel like I've heard it's like a past life type deal here.
Yeah.
I also asked, how does this song manage to sound like the most 90s song on an album that Wonderwall is on? Because Wonderwall is super 90s, and somehow this song managed to feel like something out of a 90s movie. So, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how they managed it. I don't know how they pulled it off, and I don't know how this one went under the tracks as compared to Wonderwall, but hey, here we are.
Yep.
I did say the vocal tone and melody are like super pleasing. It's like in that kind of sweet spot range of Liam's vocals, as good or bad as they may be.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess this is where we're going to kind of like meet in the middle here, because I wanted to talk about the repetition of the lyrical refrain.
Okay.
And I mentioned that it went on forever and ever and ever. Probably not necessary, but if you're going to be a little more scathing, I welcome it.
Okay, repetition at the end of the song. It was tedious. It made me tune out during the 10. I counted 10 fucking times that he repeated, some might say, and that is not including the background vocals, because if you do, that's 20 times that they said, some might say. I know what the song is called. Stop it. It was a decent song. It didn't need that. It's too much. It was too much. Cut it down at like, oh, when did that start? I think that started before 4 minutes, if not around the 4 minute mark. Cut off the last minute and a half, and you have a spot on song. I would have loved it.
So I guess some might say you weren't a fan of the song.
Were you listening to anything I said, or were you just sitting on that the whole time?
I was, but I was patiently waiting, very, very patiently waiting.
My
That's
God.
why I started smiling. I kind of leaned into the microphone. How you doing?
Oh, I see. Yes. Some might say. Made me so mad. Anyways, I'm done now. I'm done.
Well, hopefully that'll cast no shadow on your score of the album. Puns are back, baby.
I am so close to just pouring my water on this computer right now.
I think that'll definitely be a deterrent in the end to everything you do. That's not even this podcast.
That's okay. I have a closet full of computers.
I want one. Mine's getting old and slow. These Zoom calls are questionable sometimes because of it.
Oh, yes.
Song number 8, Cast No Shadow. I do like the guitar and drums and the start of everything in this track. I really like that. The acoustic with like the slow paced drums was cool. Wasn't super into the strings / mellotron, whatever you want to call it in this one. Wasn't super into it this time around. So I don't know. I was like hit or miss on it, but whatever. I do like the other things that were happening. I do appreciate the come down feeling of this whole track. That's really nice. It adds something other than just like, that wide production I've been talking about previously in the album. So that's really nice. The only problem is that the song doesn't offer a whole lot, kind of like the other ones. It just kind of gives you like a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. And then if you want something new, just slam them together, but they're still going to be the same damn things in the end. So whatever. The layering is nice though. So I'll say that much. It's pleasant, but still leaves much to be desired.
This song feels like it's an amalgamation of 4 different songs on this album.
Yes.
It's just a whole bunch of everything. Yeah. I tried to get into this one. It just really wasn't happening. I like the guitar and the drums. I assume they're brush head drumsticks, which kind of add sort of a lightness, floatiness to it. I like that a lot. It would have been okay to not put the behind every line, especially at the end, because it was starting to sound stale.
But the Beatles did it.
I don't care. You know what? Never mind. I was going to say 2 of them are dead, but I'm not going to go there because I like George Harrison. He's cool.
God boy himself met God.
So much repetition at the end. Like, I know that I've continuously said this, I just yelled about it, but it felt like they needed to flesh out the song, but just didn't have much to go on or much to offer. So they just had to keep throwing it in at the end. I don't know if that's really the idea for all of the songs they do that to, but this one, because it didn't really offer me too much for the bulk of it, at the end, it definitely was apparent that it still didn't have much to offer me.
That's like kind of a note for the rest of the album. Not the rest of the album, but just like the album as kind of a whole. Like, I don't know, as well praised as this album is, it's just, yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe was music just like a little more boring back in the 90s? I mean, there's obviously great 90s albums, don't get me wrong. We all know that. But I'm just saying that, like, the really well acclaimed ones, just so far, I don't know. Just they can sound good, but then like they can only take you so far.
Yeah, I think those ones appeared at the turn of the times or turn of a genre where it's like, oh, we haven't heard this, or it was a modern take of something that was 20 years before that time. So it's like, oh my God, this is brand new. This is awesome. But 20 years from that album, somebody did something like that, but put a modern take on that. So we look more at that newer one going, oh, I like this more. And I don't know if it's only because that is closer in time to where we are now, or if we've just sort of made so many musical sort of, not discoveries, but I guess just, I don't know. I would
just use the term steps.
Yeah.
You're taking steps in another direction. That's what music always is over the decades.
Because you're always stepping on the thing before you to get a little higher, a little higher.
Yeah,
so when you're looking back 20 steps, that's a good analogy. And when you're looking back like 20 steps down, you're still ahead, but you can look back and be like, oh, I see what was on top of that to get me here. And yeah, I don't know. This is why I'm not a musician. Really.
It works well enough.
Yeah,
I don't. It's just weird how it just still doesn't offer that much though. It doesn't take you that far. It's kind of like you hitchhike, but they only take you as far as a city bus will.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, okay, you take me away from my home, thank you, but at the same time, I could have just bussed here.
Yeah.
Without having to give you a hand job. Sorry, sir. Let's not pretend like hitchhiking's completely innocent.
Yeah. No, okay.
Ass, gas, or grass. You don't ride for free. That's great. That is a great bumper sticker. I can't remember what movie that's from, but it was great.
Oh my God. I was gonna segue into the next song and something about asking about the hitchhiking vehicle and ask if she's electric. And I was like, I don't know how to do this without sounding stupid. So I figured I would just explain it anyways.
My neighbor has a Tesla and I'm like, she's electric, huh? There you go. My neighbor does not have a Tesla.
Yeah, you know what? That was worse.
Yes, it was. You're welcome. Number 9, she's electric.
Very catchy from the beginning, very bouncy. This, for me, is I've heard this before. Like, it sounds familiar, but I know I haven't heard it. So it's like, what does this sound like? Now, I'm not sure, but I still like it. It kind of sounds kind of country-ish in a way, has a little twang to it. What did you say about that?
Yeah, that note specifically, I'll just read it verbatim. Feels like a weird mix of contemporary rock and maybe slightly folky. Maybe it's the piano, maybe it's the slidey guitar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I know that for quite a few reviews we've done, I've made mention of Wilco, but this is what it kind of reminds me of. Like, this is a more poppy version. But yeah, I liked it. And question for you. I don't know if you know this, but is like in this song, it sounds like they hit something and it recoils and it sounds like a rattlesnake tail. Do you know what that is?
I do, but I don't know the name.
Okay.
Not off the top of my head anyway.
Whatever that is, I like it. Clever use of it. It was cool.
I guess I didn't notice. I don't know. Because and the biggest problem of me not noticing that is because like wasn't super hot on this song.
Yeah.
This didn't feel like an Oasis song, if that makes sense. But also, it's probably not fair of me to say, considering I don't know too much of their discography. So, I mean, like, that could be way off touch. Maybe this sounds like a lot of their songs. I don't know. But from what I've heard in singles, at least, like, this is the farthest thing I could think of. So it's like, this is a weird track. But yeah, that contemporary rock kind of folky feel. I'm like, what is happening in this track? Like, are they trying something different? That's cool, I guess. But I mean, just it doesn't fit. It seems kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know who else does folky music though? Mr. Robert Zimmerman.
Can we move on so you can stop doing that now?
It is a bouncy track. I can see why some would actually have fun for the way it sounds and everything like that. That's great.
Yeah.
It's just not doing it for me though. Like, as I said, I couldn't dig it. It was a little harder on this one. Like, what a rude note. I just wrote, I like the part where it ended.
That's okay. There's many songs in the past that I feel that about. Also, some might say the end of that, I felt the same.
But joking aside though, I mean, like, not only did this one also feel like a Beatles track, yes, I'll keep punching that, or kicking that dead horse, I should say. I'll punch it too, whatever. I'm not above or below punching a horse, but I don't know why I said that. But anyways, the song in the song with the vocal ahs at the end sound very similar to the way With a Little Help from My Friends by the Beatles ends. By the Beatles ends. Like, it's almost the exact same. Like, it's not even just that they sound like it. It's like damn near similar, like just parallel. Like, again, play on your influences all you want, but just, you've got to chill though. You got to know when to chill.
Yeah.
It's just a little too crazy for me. I don't know. So I just wasn't huge on that song.
Yeah. Or when you listen to a song that reminds you of another one and you just prefer the other one, so you start listening to that and you're like, oh yeah, I have an album to review. My bad.
Well, actually, I mean, great transition, because that actually happened with the next song. So now, song number 10, Morning Glory, the title track itself. First off, I just want to say that I really appreciate the helicopter opening, because it does remind me of a song they would go on to release called Do You Know What I Mean, which happens to be my favorite Oasis track.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, similarities. I feel warm.
That's really funny, because I mentioned my favorite Oasis track in this song review as well. So
excellent.
Yeah.
This song alone, like other songs in the album can be too, but this song alone is arena rock to almost a T. Just like a really good use of that wide sound production style in this one. As compared to some of the other ones, this one does it great. This song feels really exciting because of it. I love the guitar work in this track, especially those like wailing bends that keep happening that are sprinkled in between like verses and choruses. I think that's super cool. And I mean, like, it's not too far off feeling from some of the other tracks on the album. It still has those similar vibes, but I mean, this one just, as I said, generally feels more exciting in its presentation. Like, so I feel like there's a lot more appreciate about it. There's a lot more life behind this one rather than just being like a wall of sound type thing. So I think that's really cool. And really the only other thing I have to say is like the ending does drag a little, but like I forgive it around this time. I just wish I was writing that, like, I wish it went out on more of those like wailing bends with like some feedback and droning, kind of like they would do in Do You Know What I Mean, because I'm not just going to keep combining those two tracks. I love the ending, Do You Know What I Mean? So it'd be cool if they kind of did that here, because realistically, I feel like this song, since that other track would come out like 2 years later on Be Here Now, I think the album's called.
Yeah, I think 97.
Because that song comes out 2 years later, I feel like this is like the prototype to what that one was going to be. Yeah. Because there's a lot of similarities between the two, and although I like the other one better, this song's still great though. But like, yeah, I don't know, just there's a lot to enjoy in this one. That's all I gotta say.
Yes. This song, now there are a handful of songs where it's like I'm aware of who sings them, but I never remember the song title. And and I am well aware that they sing the song title in the song, I never remember that I like this song until I hear the opening like guitar chords. I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. And then I don't remember what it's called until the chorus.
They even say the parentheses parts too. What's the story?
I know, silly me. But this song specifically makes me upset that their song Acquiesce isn't formally on this album, as it's a B-side to this album. I love both of these songs, although Acquiesce is my favorite Oasis song, they remind me of each other. I don't know if it's the guitar tone, the way it's played, squealiness, bends, whatever it is. They are, I don't want to say carbon copies, they're fraternal twins.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like one twin more than the other. So I didn't knock this song because it's not going up against the other one, but I did have to mention, listen to Acquiesce. It's a really good song. There's a sound to this song, and I don't know if it's the way that it's mixed, but to me it sounded kind of muddy, but like in a good way. Like it didn't seem crystal clear or like overdone. The guitars aren't too loud to me. I've always really liked the way that it made my ears feel. If that makes any sense.
You say a lot of stuff like that on this show, so it must make sense by now.
Yeah, I hope so. And if it doesn't, well, figure it out. The hook is such a hook, and I'm hooked. Like, I really like the chorus, the pre-chorus. Just, I very much enjoy it. The guitar wailing under the last vocal lines and that it takes the song to its end is very nice, and I like it. I'm glad that there's not obnoxious repetition at the end of this one. Like, sure, it's repetitive, whatever, but it's not obnoxious enough for me to hate it. So, I mean,
Points right there.
0.5 up for that.
Is it bad that when you mentioned you like I love one twin over another and you just chose the other one? You happened to you got the one on the cutting room floor, so you both babies came out at the same time. You just happen to love the one that the doctor dropped.
Yes.
Which like is splat, and you're like, oh no, I got you.
Like, I remember hearing that song on the radio, so I know it wasn't like a single, but I definitely heard it before. Like, obviously I've heard it before. But I'm very disappointed that it wasn't on this album, because that would have just automatically number one. I wouldn't even have to listen to the album. It would have been number one.
I mean, a lot of bands have that where they're like, yeah, these songs that aren't officially released or like on these like re-released B-side things. I mean, Nine Inch Nails does it. That's where the songs like Burn and Deep and everything come from. The Perfect Drug's not even technically on an album. It's one of their best. I mean, like,
I love that song. I haven't heard a lot of Nine Inch Nails, but I absolutely love that song.
That was literally written, I believe, for the Lost Highway movie. So, I mean,
okay.
I don't know if it was for or it was already written, and then David Lynch is like, I want your song, Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. And he's like, okay.
So it's not on a studio recorded or Nine Inch Nails labeled album.
Well, it's on like a single called The Perfect Drug, but like it wasn't attached to an album. It was released prior to The Fragile. So, I mean, like it was kind of in that era of writing, but it didn't really fall anywhere in the discography other than a single of itself and with a bunch of remixes on it.
Huh, I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, so it's just one of those awesome standalone tracks. And like there's another song called Home that like I, as like my music frail state, I covered that song because I couldn't find it on a streaming service, so I wanted an excuse to have it on a streaming service, so I covered the damn thing.
That's awesome.
It's the best thing I could do. And I do have the license to that song through my distributor thing, so that's why I'm legally allowed to have it streamed.
That's hilarious.
Awesome.
I like that.
All right, so let's close it out with the true closer, song number 11, although it's 12 on Spotify and stuff like that, but we combined Swamp Song again. So song number 11, Champagan Supernova.
That hurts me to hear, but that is how I had to spell it when I typed it out.
Well, that's literally just, I'm thinking of the Futurama joke where Zap Brannigan's being turned down by Leela. It's like, do you still want some of the Champagan? I believe it's pronounced champagne.
Oh God, I've not seen that, but sounds funny.
Futurama's fantastic. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Champagne Supernova, the other gigantic single from Oasis that people tend to know. Again, gonna try to avoid the Hotel California vibes on this one because this one's kind of in the same boat. But I will say I do like this song a lot more than Wonderwall when it comes to those overplayed type songs. Like I've always liked the song better, so it's a little easier on me coming this time around.
This is such an end of album track. Like, I don't care what came before it. You can't really follow such a opulent track. Very much a closer to me.
That's such a big word for my tiny little brain.
Yeah, well, I mean, little does anyone know, I had to Google it before I even said anything. Uh, I
Courage.
enjoy how the song starts with the breaking waves from the last song because it kind of gives me an automatic feeling of being relaxed and at ease. And I think the bass, again, like I said in Wonderwall, really the unsung hero of these slower ballad like songs.
Yeah, and the thing is though, like the bass is so underpronounced in the entire album anyways, like it's just kind of like an afterthought, I guess.
Mm,
Just because, yeah, there's not a whole lot going on for it. It doesn't have a whole lot of standout room. So the points
yeah,
when you can notice it, I guess it feels special enough, especially to
yeah.
someone like you who really truly admires the bass in music.
Oh my God, I love it. It hurt.
Now, do you like bass or do you like bass guitar? Like, do you like bass all around?
Um, I think I like more, I guess, s- string bass, I guess, like stand-up bass guitar, that's fine. But when it's just sort of a all-encompassing bass sound, I find that a little bit too overwhelming to me. I like to be able to hear the different notes, but if it's just sort of a heavy booming, I don't know, just sort of bass feeling, it's too much. But if I can follow a melody, I really, really like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So as I said before, I'm going to try to avoid the Hotel California thing, and I'm going to be fair about it and like critique it as fairly as I can. But it's not going to be too hard because I really actually do enjoy the song no matter. Even though I've heard this one to death, but I don't mind listening to this one again. I don't want to keep listening to it, but if it's like every once in a while nowadays, it's like okay, I'll let it pass. I won't change the channel. It's a generally well paced song altogether too. So I mean, like it takes you on like a lot of ups and downs rather than just kind of remaining on this like one kind of constant
Yeah.
energy feeling, no matter if it's like higher or lower. This one kind of goes all over and it's nice. So it takes you on a little more of a ride. There's more to appreciate in it. So that's nice. There's really cool layering in this one too. It's just another track that does well with that kind of like wide style of production. And what, especially in this one, like, you know, the verses are a little more quieter, but then the chorus picks up to the arena rock feeling
Yeah.
again. So just like
Yep.
this constant shrinking and growing, like it feels good. So like, I don't know, I really like that. I didn't even really notice the length of this song to be 100% honest too. It's just generally enjoyable. 7.5 minutes.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Could have fooled me if you asked me how long the song was and I didn't look at the clock. I'd say like five and a half. Like
Yeah.
I'm like it's like okay, it feels a little lengthy. Maybe it's like 4.5 minutes. Nope, 7.5 minutes.
I 100% agree. I did make note that I really love that it really blows out for the chorus and just like don't look back in anger. I think this is a perfect song for group participation. It is it is the encore song and everyone is just loving each other and singing back. And well, I mean, I can imagine when they actually sing the song properly and nicely. But I really like that. I like the images that it gives me in my head. The solos on this entire album, they aren't magical or like earth shattering, but it's like perfect for what the song needs. You know, it's for some songs, they're a little bit bigger, some are a little smaller. The one here, I really liked it. And again, song is 7.5 minutes long, and I loved every second of it. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, awesome. And you mentioned earlier how, like very recently, that this is like a great album ender. Like I
Mhm.
didn't know that this was the last song on the album. Generally, because like especially with the bigger singles too, you don't expect it to be the final song on the
Yeah.
album. It's somewhere like the beginning or the end. This is
Yeah.
the tail end of the B side. I mean, like that's kind of crazy to think about. But it is so damn fitting now that you listen to it. And I mean, like, just the way it is, the way it kind of trails off at the end with the gentle guitar and the water that I guess Swamp Song 2 kind of played on that too, even though I still don't know what the imagery that's supposed to represent. But still, like, everything just feels good. Yeah, it feels just like drifting off. It's all done. So, yeah, pretty decent ender. I'm kind of glad it is where it is.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I could see it anywhere else.
All right, and with that said, that brings us to the end of this the album, Morning Glory by Oasis. We're done talking about it now, so thank you very much for checking that out with us. If you did listen to the album, you got some opinions on us, make sure you let us know down in the comments of wherever you're listening. There's comment sections everywhere, just somewhere. We will see them, I promise you. Yes. Or over on our social medias too, at Rate the Record Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. Or at ratetherecord.ca, which is where you can find all those links. Make sure you let us know.
Yeah.
It's all good. But I mean, again, there's so many more opinions to tell us because now we have to rank songs, you part 2 of 3 the entire podcast. That's what we do. So I guess we got some fixing up to do. So above our heads, boom, graphics have changed, names, numbers, but no song titles just yet. But that'll be momentary. I mean, and by momentary, I mean like within the next few seconds because we're going to get that kicked off.
Yeah.
Now, before we start, as we usually do, where everything kind of falls with our lists here, I have 3 check marks.
Oh, it's funny because I was going to say about 2 or 3 matches. So let's go with 3, seeing how we're both moderately optimistic.
3 check marks, 3 question marks, and the rest are X's.
Let's try. Let's try for 3.
I would certainly hope so. It's on your shoulders, not mine.
Oh, shit. That's okay. I'll take it.
Well, it won't be this one, though. I promise you that. So number 11, She's Electric.
Cast No Shadow.
Cast no. Okay. Number 10, Hello.
The Swamp Song. Versions 1 and 2.
Yes, they are one song on this one. All right. So my number 9 is Cast No Shadow.
Hey Now. Exclamation.
Yes, you've really hit the hey now.
Yeah.
Really pointed out. My number 8 is Swamp Song.
Hello.
All right, so we're doing pretty good so far. That's all right. And so far, kind of sticking to the theme. Number 7, Hey Now.
Some may say.
Some may say. I like how a lot of those were kind of grouped within the same box of 5.
Yep.
Number 6, Roll With It.
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall.
And
that was actually a check mark.
Ooh.
My number 5, Some Might Say.
She's Electric.
Well, that's at least it's not your number 1. I've been like, why is that one your number 1?
We might not get any.
we still have 3 we can match on. There's 4 left.
Oh, scary though.
Not this one though. Number 4, Wonderwall.
Roll With It.
Okay, now we have 3 left, and let's see how much of these 3 you can actually get.
I don't think so.
Before I say it though, I'm just looking at my list.
I don't think so.
we both said some generally positive things about the last 3 tracks, and they're the same 3 tracks, so I can say that much.
Yeah.
This should be interesting.
I don't think so.
Because if we don't match this one, we only have 1 chance.
Yeah.
Number 3, Don't Look Back in Anger.
Champagne Supernova.
Champagne.
Aye. Dang.
But okay,
You still get 1.
1 chance. And it might very well be the match because my number 2, Champagne Supernova. Nope.
No. Morning Glory.
God damn it. There was so much hope in that one.
I
My
know.
number 1 is Morning Glory.
Yeah, Don't Look Back in Anger.
Damn it. Don't look back. Our first 0 of the season. 0.
I am looking back in anger.
I heard you say.
Ay.
Get it right somehow. Oh, well, 0 for 11. I mean, that's bound to happen at some point in the season. We're so optimistic too. God damn it. Because Morning Glory, Champagne Supernova, and Wonderwall were all check marks. And Don't Look Back in Anger was a question mark.
I out of all of them, they
hey,
all
our top 3 though were pretty tight though. I mean, everything was kind of there for it.
Well, they all had the same score, but Don't Look Back in Anger, that's one that I would choose to listen to over and over and over again.
Oh, I can listen to it a few times, but I wouldn't want to overkill it with that one.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. We've ranked the song, but now we got to find out where we've rated the album because that's obviously the bigger part of the show. So let's go.
And then we rate the record. Woo!
Oops, so that was an hour too late. Anyways, let's hop on over and do this. So it's transition screens, whoosh. Alrighty then, here we are on the album rating screen, 2nd episode into season 3. It is already looking jam-packed in here. We got a lot of albums going, including last week's album, The Kills, which sits at the top of the C tier right there. Kind of a shame, but oh well, they can't all be winners.
They cannot.
Cannot and will not, judging by some of the past albums we have on the show. But now we got to see if Oasis is a winner. God, I can speak properly. We'll have to see if Oasis is a winner. But although I'm not exactly sure what a winner is in this case, maybe the A tier, but I don't know.
I already have my assumptions, and they are sad. So.
That's unfortunate. So I guess we'll find out just how true your assumptions can be right now. Time to rate the record, just like the podcast title insinuates. And I suppose I'll be going first this time around. You did the kills last week, and I'll be doing Oasis first this week. So, I mean, you said you would be kind of disappointed. So I guess that means you think I rated it low.
I do.
I'm curious to know, where do you think I put it?
I don't know.
If you're feeling that heartbroken about it, you must have some sort of idea.
Like, I'm not too sure where you put it, like specifically, but I feel like this is going to turn out to be like a B-.
Like overall, or is that my score?
Overall.
Oh, I mean, it's hard to say, but I can tell you right now, I didn't give it a B-. Oh, that's very ominous because you don't know which direction I can go in from there.
I was like, I gave it a D-.
Yeah, it's sitting next to Bob Dylan. No, I'm kidding. So no, it is sitting in the middle of the B tier at 75.9%.
Okay.
So that's still not nearly as bad as it could have been.
All right. Well, it's a B+ then, because I got 82.72, which is higher than I thought it was going to be.
82.7. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I didn't think that you would like, not that I don't know whether or not you like Oasis, but I didn't think it'd be like that high.
I think the song, like with other albums, the songs that I liked, I really liked. But on this album, the songs I didn't like, there were enough redeeming qualities that, minus the 10-time repetitive outro, and some might say, the album was decent.
Well, you were obviously definitely right about the B+ portion of it, because with our combined scores, it comes to 79.31%. Oh. It is up there.
It is between Tomahawk and Frank Zappa.
Tomahawk and Frank Zappa? What the Arctic Monkeys are there.
Oh, no. Okay, hold on. 79.3 between Arctic Monkeys and Tomahawk. I cannot read.
There you go. Okay, I was just get confused. I'm like, did I not add the score to our list?
Yeah, no, fucking how? Okay, my brain. How the hell would that have scored higher than Tomahawk? So my mistake.
Yeah, apparently so, because I know that you like the Tomahawk, but apparently you just like Oasis just a little more.
No.
I mean, you can't argue logic here.
No, I can. Yeah, I can. No, definitely can.
I mean, try. Even on your personal tier list, it's going to appear higher than Tomahawk. That's the best part. Whoops, I guess I'll have to fix that real quick. But yes, at least we know that this album by Oasis is in the proper spot. But yes, Tomahawk is at the top of the B tier. My bad. That just goes to show how hard I work and how little Savannah does. Because it's all me that does this. All me.
What am I supposed to do? Argue that? It's the truth.
Suppose and so.
I am the superstar, but you are the machine behind my success.
So if I shut down, you shut down. Good to know. Right. Anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and hit that switch on the back of my neck. I guess I could do that now because we are at the end of the episode. So, hey, you know what? Thank you very much for tuning in and hanging out with us today, checking out Oasis's Morning Glory album. Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't. We don't know, but we are curious about your opinion. So make sure you go ahead and let us know. Again, down in the comments below, wherever you're listening, there's a comment section. Let us know, leave a review, rating, all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. If you did that, we're always also curious to know, like, your opinion on the albums, interact with you, just doing that kind of stuff. It's always pretty cool. Yeah. Let us know over on social media too, at Rate the Record Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff is all there over at ratetherecord.ca. So make sure you let us know on the socials too, because we always post about the episodes we do anyway. So please let us know your opinions. All that kind of stuff. I mean, wow, I'm in a word soup today. I don't even know what to do anymore. Yeah. I'm tired. But it is still cool that you joined us, so thank you very much. It's been a very interesting episode. I definitely scored this album a lot higher than I thought I was going to.
Mm-hmm. Likewise, although mine was still higher than yours. But I mean, it being at the head of the B tier, good enough. I mean, I don't know what I expected, but I am pleased.
This is now your out of all the albums you selected, this is now the highest rated. It passed Kevin
Really?
Gilbert. It passed Kevin Gilbert, yeah. So,
I think I purposely ignored that when I was looking at the list. Yeah.
you must have.
Yeah. Purposely. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Gotta love it. But yeah, so that is the episode for today. And also, too, I should have probably mentioned this in the beginning of the show. You know, you can support us by, liking, subscribing, all that kind of stuff I already said. But we do also have the paid feature from Ko-fi.com/rate the record. If you do want to support the show financially, $5 a month gets you into the RTR club. You get a bunch of stuff. You get your name shouted out. You get to go on the thank you card once we actually start getting people on Ko-fi in the RTR club. We can actually have a thank you card at the end of the episodes and everything like that. We will also do bonus content, which I'm editing right now. We have a bonus episode going out on Ko-fi.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish that real soon. I've been insanely busy behind the scenes, aside from Rate the Record, real life and such.
Yep.
So I've been doing that, but that'll go up real soon. And if you have you make music, we wouldn't mind rating or ranking one of your songs. So by all means, you want us to listen to your music, you want to tell us, let us tell you how we feel about it, by all means, become a part of the RTR club. We will do it.
And for $100, I'll send you a lock of my hair.
Thankfully, it's not mine because you usually offer mine.
Well, I figured, I might as well offer something.
How the Clippers have turned.
Yeah, how they have. And then watch. Someone will be like, yeah, I'll take that crap.
Yeah, then you would actually have, if someone legitimately sent $100, you would have to at that point.
That's fine. I'll film myself doing it. I don't care.
Cool. Right off the middle of your head. That's it, and just send all of them.
Whoa. There are some conditions here.
Bald spot. Big bald spot.
Hell no.
Anyways, before we let you go at the end of the episode here, we do like to give a little sneak preview of what to expect with, the next episode coming up. That'll be episode 47. Yeah, I can count. I know how to count. A couple things before talking about next week's episode, kind of tying in to that. So August 23rd, being tomorrow, the day after this episode is released, is the Rate the Record 1 year anniversary, the real 1 year anniversary, the day that we uploaded episode 0, the introduction, just for us awkwardly trying to say, hello, we are this, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a weird video. And it's
I'll never
watch it. Go ahead.
I'll never watch
But
that.
anyways, to commemorate the anniversary of that, we do have a video coming out tomorrow, a brand new thing to celebrate the 1 year. We're just completely rehashing the introduction and just doing it clip for clip all over again.
Barf. Hell no.
Oh, man. Yeah, we were quieter and a little more scared last time, but now we're just idiots and we're way too loud.
Yes. Definitely.
But speaking of Rate the Record, though, and what you can expect next week, not just tomorrow's thing, but next week, obviously, we're going to keep on with the anniversary because next week celebrates the anniversary of our very first episode, not episode 0, but episode 1 when we did Pearl Jam's 10. So, obviously, we got to celebrate, have a happy anniversary, do an episode for that, and I think it's time to come back full circle. I mean, I'm not too into hiding that one in particular of who it could be, but I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun regardless, so you should come check it out no matter what.
Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, happy anniversary to us. And so the next couple of videos is gonna be a lot of fun for that. So make sure that you tune in. It's gonna be great. So once again, thank you very much for hanging out with us. We'll see you again next week. Take care, friends.
Bye-bye.